Does this seem familiar? Yeah, there is a brand new king here in Detroit, and I wanted to give a big shout out over to my friends over at the Grindline podcast for making this tweet featuring the poster of the Wings and the Florida Panthers game, the Lion King. Yes, that is right, baby. Today we are talking about the new king in Detroit, a guy who has taken over the reins, who has taken all the love from the fans, and who deserves it to the best magnitude possible. Today we are talking about the rise of Alex Lyon, and in order to go over this, we are going to have to do some history lessons. We're going to have to take a look at where he came from and talk about just what exactly happened to put Lyon in this position where you could now debate that he is arguably the most important player on this team, if not one of the best surprises the Wings have had this season too. Alex Lyon is 31 years old, so definitely not a young guy, quote-unquote, 6'1", 201, so not the biggest goaltender in the world, and he was undrafted. He signed right now to the end of 24-25 at $900,000 a year, so Red Wings fans, assuming Lyon is still going to be as good as he has been into the next few months and maybe into the next 12, 15 months-ish, there is a very good opportunity to have a goaltender that is this good at such a cheap cost. Alex Lyon was pretty much playing everywhere. He was in Philadelphia, he was in Lehigh Valley, he had split the load there multiple seasons in a row. Eventually he was a Carolina Hurricane, he played 2 games for them in 21-22. Last season he was a Florida Panther, and he had a .914 save percentage, also a .289 goals against average. It was around this time last year, especially in the playoffs, where we started to see that Lyon actually had a really good, stable way of manning the crease at the NHL level. This 9-4-2 record for the Florida Panthers might not seem like the biggest deal in the world, but if you remember from last year, the Florida Panthers were going through some goaltending struggles. You had Sergei Bobrovsky, you had Spencer Knight, and both of these guys were kind of struggling at times. So Alex Lyon getting the crease for a little bit and winning very important games was super important as the Florida Panthers eventually made the playoffs because Lyon helped them out, and they went to the Stanley Cup freaking finals. Now, Lyon in the postseason did not have the best save percentage there. He only had an .888 save percentage as the Panthers went to that finals run. But still, the work, the foundation, everything that Lyon had done in the regular season was for the better in Florida. And it's why, heading into 2023-2024, the Red Wings decided to take themselves a chance on Alex Lyon. This is the initial contract that was signed. It was a 2-year deal. Netminder helped Florida reach the 2023 Stanley Cup Finals, and yada, yada, yada. $900,000 AAV 2-year deal. Not the biggest deal in the world, but the implications on it were great. This entire piece on the Red Wings website, back when the acquisition was made, goes over his history and all of the AHL stuff that we had just talked about. But Alex Lyon was a part of a Red Wings squad in 23-24 that had a few issues, particularly in net, because they already had 2 guys that were projected to being players, in James Reimer and in Ville Husso. However, if you've been watching the Red Wings this season, you'll recognize that both Reimer and Husso just haven't been up to snuff. And as a result, with a few injuries also coming to the Wings, you had Alex Lyon eventually make his debut, and something odd happened when he started to play. He started winning. And he started winning with really good save percentages. Back in November, after the Global Series, this is when Alex Lyon started to show up. He had a shutout in the second game played he had. He then posted up back-to-back .970 save percentage games to get his 3rd win in a row, and eventually stabilize this crease to the point that now he has won, 5 of his last 7 games. In the month of January, he's at a .923 save percentage. Against his old team in the Florida Panthers, he posted up a .941 save percentage, and his overall metric on the season is a .922 save percentage, 16 games played, and a .257 goals against. He's 10-4-1 in this season's worth of play, and when you take a look at how he's able to man the crease, it's easy to see why. Alex Lyon is a competitive and athletic battler who fights for every inch of the crease and who positions himself pretty nicely to get rebounds. His reflexes are spot on, and there's just so much confidence that the Wings play with when they have Lyon in net. Even though he's not the biggest guy in the world, for some reason this team plays so much better when Lyon is back there manning the crease versus when they've got Reimer or Husso. Even though, as we had said, some of these other guys are a bit taller. James Reimer, for example, 6'3", just has not been it this season, and there's been a little bit of concern in regards to how he's been able to stop the puck. I mean, he's got a negative record, he's at an .893 save percentage, just some of the goals that he lets in are very questionable at best. And now when you take a look at the Wings and how everything's been going, I mean, even last game you could say that Lyon didn't have the best save percentage on paper, .897 save percentage against the Carolina Hurricanes, but then again, when the majority of the game is played in the Red Wing zone and the Wings only have like 13 shots on goal or whatever it was, there's reason to not blame the goaltender for a loss like this. This was not a good game in the slightest. Kind of boring, not gonna lie. I actually did watch this one. It was on the TV here in Vancouver, so I was able to scroll through this game, cycle between this and the Minnesota Golden Gophers and Ohio Buckeyes game. But either way, the Red Wings did not have themselves the best performance, so Alex Lyon's numbers ended up dropping. But still, even with this dud of a game that happened recently, you still have yourselves a guy that at the time of recording this audio is 5th overall in the NHL's total save percentage race. His .922 is tied with Joey Daccord and is only behind Jeremy Swayman, Connor Hellebuck, Charlie Lindgren, and Adin Hill for goaltenders who have played 14 or more games. He has a higher save percentage than Thatcher Demko, who is considered to being one of the candidates for the Vezina this season. And in fact, these advanced analytics get even crazier when you talk about some of the stats that aren't on NHL.com. This is Money Puck, and what we're looking at is the goals saved above expected per 60 minutes metric. Now, what this is a little bit complicated, so let's go out there and read what some of these other stats mean instead. Goals saved above expected is a great stat. What it means is the amount of times a goal is supposed to be scored against you that the goalie actually saves. If there's a high danger chance right in front, it's a cross crease, point blank range, goaltender is out of position, and the shot is registered 5 feet from the goal line, it's going to be counted as an expected goal. But if the goalie saves it, you'll get +1 to this metric right here, goals saved above expected. Alex Lyon is 13th overall in the NHL right now in terms of this metric, meaning that out of all the goaltenders, he has saved about 7.4 goals that should have gone in. Now, this is only in a sample size of 16 games played. So, if you try to map it out, let's talk about goals saved above expected per 60 minutes. And we could ignore some of the top guys over here because Jet Greaves, Matt Murray, Domingue, Askarov, Riddick, they've only played such a limited amount of games. So let's skip over to Charlie Lindgren and go from there. You can see that Alex Lyon is indeed one of the best goaltenders in the NHL for goals saved above expected per 60 minutes. Every 60 minutes that Alex Lyon plays, he's expected to saving about .487 goals. Now that's a crazy number, it doesn't exist in the real world of hockey, but if you map everything out, he's saving more goals per 60 minutes than some very good players like Linus Ullmark. You've got Semyon Varlamov, Casey DeSmith is over here, and there are a few extra names. That present themselves in this conversation. Alex Lyon, despite the limited sample size, is still one of the top goaltenders in the NHL, and he, for $900,000 a year, is definitely outperforming that pay grade. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the way Alex Lyon has been playing this season, how he has become the Lion King in Detroit, and how I am going to have myself a fun time making a thumbnail for this video that is in the spirit of the Grindline guys and the poster that they end up making. So big shout out over to the folks over at Grindline for giving me this idea of making the Lion King a thing. And let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as to how Lyon has taken over the crease with this team. I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.